yes, but not the mass flowering we have during the springtime. And that is the pity at the moment. And what bees are doing, directly looking for alternative source. Who can support me with sugar? And that could be the neighbor, left and right. Yeah. So that we have clearly honey robbing beside that, and can demonstrate that easily here. And if you have such kind of sticky boards under the beehives, you can find also such kind of egg, wings, head of the bees, which demonstrate me directly, oops, robbing is clearly active, as it will be foreign bees coming from other colonies. Further, you can find, unfortunately for you, not too much, fortunately for me, another enemy. Here's one, that is a varroa mite.
Okay.
Yeah, and here's the varroa mite, a dead varroa mite, and here's also a varroa mite. And I checked the daily dropped dead varroa mite basis, as that will be an identifier for me how big is the infestation today. Yeah, and weather plays over winter also a very big role. And we have a very, very bad weather nice weather conditions for us. 18 degrees in December means I can avoid gasoline for the heating of my house, but for the bees means, hey, we can be active outside, we can collect the nectar and pollen, but nature stopped the process of giving nectar and pollen. There's nothing found outside, but it also means that bees are active in breeding activities. And breeding activities means that the varroa mite can reproduce on the brood cells over the winter period. They not stopped breeding activities, the bees, and that means that over December, January they can double the individual number, as they double each month the individual number here. And normally the colony can survive with 50 to 100 mites. That is a limitation. If it will be higher, colony normally dies over the winter period. As we have breeding activity, the dead bees exchanged by the new hatch bees, so we are not have so high damages. And I assume the colors number will figure that out, that we are in range of 10 to 15%. Winter colony losses, not too much. But this pressure on varroa will give us a colony losses for the next winter period. Each month they will double. So you have 50 mites and can double until August to 3000 mites. But if you have 100, then it double to August to 6000. And if you have 200, then you have 12,000 mites inside, will kill clearly your colony. And if you have a hungry situation, what bees are doing? Reducing brood. Eating the eggs, as they have for the hatching larvae, not enough food to feed them. And that means you have a reduced brood cells, where you double the number of mites into the cells directly. And all the mites here in our parts are infested with viruses, and then we have an effect directly on the bees. During the summer period, summer bees have a lifetime of 4 to 6 weeks. It's not dramatically, as they exchanged after 4 to 6 weeks, and we have an increasing development each day, 2000 bees coming and compensate that. But for the winter, it's completely different. The bees have a lifetime then for 5 to 6 months and have to be support the queen and the upcoming brood in February, March. And in February, March they have to heat up to 35 degrees and then to start feeding activity to the brood. If you have no bees inside, as they are killed by the virus and the mites, who's supporting the brood? Nobody. Or you have a very small brood cell which could not survive the springtime. And that is a clear damages then from this small mite. As you can see, I found, unfortunately for you, not too much, but for me very well. But the situation is completely different in the region.
But those were good mites because they were dead, right?
They are dead, that are good mites, yes. But levels could be changed. Yeah, I have last week a call with Klaus Wallner from University of Hohenheim, and he told me that in his region beekeepers have a daily drop of dead mice on 100 to 150 on a daily basis, and not seen 2 to 3. Yeah, that's completely different. They have to start application treatment of the mites, and this treatment have to be very, very effective, as after the treatment they starting doubling again. Yeah.
What, like in the United States, where they take bees to the south, they transport them, so they're basically in a summer environment all the time. Doesn't that changes the dynamic for the worse in itself, doesn't it?
It's exchanged in this way that you have a long period of highly development of the bees. Yeah, and that is reduction of the problematic, of direct problematic, as you have high development phase, every time spring conditions, high number of bees inside, but it means also that you get a high number inside. And you have a switching point, where the bees are preparing for the winter. And this switching point means the bees are reduction the number of individuals. They could not bring all the 30,000-40,000 individuals for the winter period. I have to feed them artificially for the winter with 20 kilogram nectar. And that for 10,000 bees, not more. If you have 30,000 inside, they need 60 kilograms nectar. And that's clearly too much for them to collect for the winter period, so they reduce the individual number to 10,000. But it means the pressure of varroa will be for each individual bee higher as before. And you're not recognize that during the high development peak, but during that time, if you go down, then you will recognize. We have different kind of products available to treat the varroa mites. We have synthetic compounds available in the market, but we have also organic compounds. The organic compounds working on an oil basis or evaporation. Germany uses evaporation basis organic compounds, formic acid, to treat and apply it, and it needs good weather, 20-25 degrees, that you have a evaporation inside, not too high, not too less. If you have a more temperature, the evaporation is too strong, the concentration of the formic acid is too strong to kill your bees and your queen beside the varroa mite. If you have lower temperature, the concentration is too low, you kill nothing, never the varroa mites, never the bees, and then you have not the efficacy on the varroa mite you need. So you can say, okay, synthetic compounds will be available, it's also used. Unfortunately, the registration situation is a little bit different. Not all available compounds are registered in each and every country at the same day. So beekeepers have sometimes only the chance to use the same compound year by year, and that increases resistance. And if you have not 99% efficacy at the end of the summer season, you kill your colonies. And the pity is, beekeepers measure the drops and the dead varroa mites on this sticky board. And you have 4,000, 6,000 mites in your hives and 4,000 mites dropped, the beekeeper thinking, hey, that was a very effective treatment. Not recognize the 1,000 mites sitting on the bees. And double in September, double in October, double in November, and kill your colonies. Viruses, and the viruses can damage strongly also your colonies after you prevent your colonies from the varroa mite, and that kills at the end also your bee colony. And that has to be managed by the beekeeper and have to be known by the beekeeper, and that's sometimes a very, very complex situation. We have very well trained beekeeper, professional beekeeper from North American region, the US beekeeper are very trained, very busy on that part. Semi-professionally we see here in Germany means that you have well-educated beekeeper, but also on the other hand education level is not as the highest peak as necessary. And if you're going sometimes to South American situation, then you can really see a pity situation for bee health conditions about all the multifunctional stressors will be varroa mites or pesticidal use by the farmers, and also the farmers are not aware on that, and then you can increase here the problems for your colony which are necessary. Yeah, in Chile 70-80% of the crops are related to pollination, and that is a high level, so they need pollination clearly. And US also have such kind of pollination services, and here in Europe the density is very high, so farmers will not pay for that. Yeah, that is a little bit the pity. We are living from the income of the honey, and honey price is 10 kilo. We get 10 euro per kilo we're getting here. From my hive, I think this year I get out 15 kilograms, 150 euro. You can imagine how many hives I have to import and support it here to get a very well income for me if I'm only focused to honeybees. That's a little bit the pity, and here pollination service and the payment for the pollination service will help the beekeepers to manage that on the best way and best practice. Questions you have? In these short times I have not more time to telling you more